Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Scottsboro holding at 75 degrees. We're talking about a half of an inch, perhaps an inch of rainfall in the Tennessee Valley. 20%.
But as the day wears on, the radar readings tell a different story.
All of a sudden, this large blob shows up on our radar. It was this big circle, this monster blob.
The blob started out less than a mile in diameter and then quickly grew to over 10 miles in diameter. It looked to us like a strong to severe thunderstorm.
If this is a thunderstorm, you do not want to get caught in this. There is some heavy rainfall and some hail with this one.
The town of Huntsville lies in the heart of tornado country. Residents steel themselves for what they fear could be the biggest storm in the area's history. But the nightmare scenario fails to materialize.
We've got this massive cloud showing up on radar. It should be visible from miles away, but yet you look outside and there's nothing there. Something's going on here.
When we saw the blob showing up on the weather radar, we also quickly looked at our GOES satellite readings to try to see if we could see what was actually occurring, and it looked like there was nothing happening. This is the weirdest radar-based event that I have ever seen.
As they try to make sense of it, the blob continues to grow.
Those two images should always coincide. If we see an echo on the radar, we should also see a thunderstorm from space above. If we don't, that tells us something weird is going on.
One thing is now certain. Whatever this is, it has nothing to do with the weather. But worried viewers still want to know what's happening in their skies.
This big blob of what appears to be heavy rain sitting over Huntsville and Madison is not rain at all.
Huntsville's meteorologists are baffled. Then, news of an unusual local natural event reaches the team.
It just so happens that earlier that day, about 1,000 ladybugs were released into the atmosphere by some local scientists.
So people were actually wondering, was the signature the ladybugs?
Could the strange anomaly be a living, flying swarm?
Insects certainly can reflect radar beams back, but 1,000 of them? No, there would have to be hundreds of millions of them.
The mystery is baffling.
At this point, we are very confused with what's going on. We really don't have any idea.
With no firm evidence, investigators can only speculate as to the cause of the strange radar signature.
This isn't weather, but yet it's expanding and growing. What is this? Some kind of chemical weapon? Is it something unexplained? Is there a fire? It's just defies immediate explanation.
And then it vanished. The blob disappeared as quickly as it came that day.
At the Severe Weather Institute, Alabama, researcher Ryan Wade finds himself bombarded with questions about the bizarre event.
Wild speculation began. We were accused of covering up, by conspiracy theorists of covering up military operations or cloud seeding or even aliens. And so the media attention itself kind of took on a life of its own. And so finally the next day we kind of had enough of it. And so we went to the point source.
Charting the blob's development, Wade realizes that its point of origin is in a very suspicious location.
We noticed that there was certainly a point source where just a few radar echoes showed up in a specific location right along the edge of Redstone Arsenal. And so we went to the point source.
Redstone Arsenal, a top-secret U.S. weapons testing facility.
Redstone Arsenal is home of some of the greatest military mysteries in United States history. Is this one of them?
Constructed during World War II as a chemical weapons manufacturing facility and developed into a base for covert rocket testing operations, today, Redstone is home to a number of clandestine programs.
Redstone Arsenal houses the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center, and they also do a lot of missile testing. And so it's fairly common to have smoke from a missile test range that shows up on radar.
On On the day of the cloud's appearance, nobody has seen or heard any of the telltale signs of missile testing in the Huntsville area. Wade heads to the spot he's located, on the perimeter of Redstone Arsenal, where he makes a telling discovery.
What we found were feathery type clumps, almost like a little piece of plastic or a little piece of fiberglass.
Experts agree that the material Wade discovers at the site closely resembles chaff, a radar countermeasure used in military aviation since World War II.
Planes will release what is called chaff. It is these tiny microscopic zinc particles that will fool the radar into not knowing exactly where the plane is.
Wade scrutinizes satellite mapping imagery of Redstone. He finds a fleet of helicopters stationed there. Could these have deployed the chaff? Faced with the evidence, the military comes clean. Almost.
After we went and found the chaff, Redstone Arsenal did issue a statement.
Basically, they say their lips are sealed.
The Redstone statement does not reveal the purpose of the activities that caused the unusual radar signature. But Ryan Wade believes he might have stumbled across a secret military scheme to create phantom storms.
If I were trying to come up with a playbook to generate what looks like a thunderstorm on radar that really isn't a thunderstorm, these environmental conditions with this type of a substance, that's what I would use.
Faced with intense media interest, Redstone finally admits it was testing an advanced form of chaff known as RR-188. But chaff doesn't fully